F1 is returning to Qatar this weekend for the second time ever. The debut event in 2021 took place at the end of the enthralling season, as the title rivalry between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen heated up. Since then, F1 cars have evolved drastically, with the next generation of ground effect technology bearing little resemblance to previous models. However, teams hoping to rely on historical data to assist them ahead of this weekend's race will be disappointed, as the track is practically deemed brand new. We probably won't be treated as such an exciting race this time, but the track changes could change a lot for the drivers. This is due to the circuit officials completely renovating the site. Beyond the new pits and paddock complex, the work performed on the track is more important to teams and drivers. And it's safe to say some aren't too happy about these changes, labeling them potentially dangerous. So, what are the changes? The FIA noted in its official weekend preview comments, the first substantial resurfacing work since the circuit began in 2004, along with other modifications, has made a significant impact. It said, the entire track has been resurfaced and all the curbs, runoff areas, guardrails and fences have been replaced since the previous event. Given the extensive nature of the changes made, to all intents and purposes, it is considered to be a new circuit. And that wasn't all. The track now has 50 pit boxes, which organisers claim is the most of any track in the calendar, and local roads and intersections have been removed to make access easier for workers and fans. Light panels and marshals posts have also been renovated, with all improvements made in close collaboration with both the FIA and the FIM to ensure the circuit is acceptable for all racing disciplines. Track simulations were done prior to construction to ensure that the circuit met the safety criteria of both governing bodies. This stunning and extensive remodeling is the product of months of hard work, ambition, and imagination, and is a fitting introduction to what promises to be a thrilling weekend of motorsports, said Abdulrahman bin Abdulatif Al Manay, president of Qatar Motor and Motorcycle Federation and Lusail International Circuit. Our long-term agreement with F1 marks a significant advancement for Qatar, which is rapidly gaining a reputation as a renowned host for some of the world's most prestigious sporting events that are sure to serve fans on all fronts. While F1 teams are skilled enough to deal with such site changes on race weekends, the new Lusail adds an added layer of difficulty on a weekend when they already have a lot on their plate. Because this is a sprint race, teams will need to be on their toes to make the most of the first and only practice session on Friday afternoon. It is the last chance to perfect the setup they will employ for the rest of the weekend, since once the cars leave the garage for qualifying on Friday evening, they're locked inside Parc Fermé conditions. Unlike regular racing weekends, when teams may recover from a disappointing Friday with some overnight simulator work to prepare for a better Saturday, there is no such opportunity this time. As Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff said, there have been changes both on and off track. A key feature of FP1, therefore, will be understanding the effects of the track resurfacing. As it is a sprint weekend, we'll have limited time to get on top of this and find a solid setup for the rest of the event. It will be an interesting task and one we're excited for. However, because the race is taking place at night, there will be varying temperatures and unpredictable track conditions to contend with. Teams are well aware that in similar night race events such as Bahrain and Singapore, the early sessions of the day may be somewhat unrepresentative because they take place when temperatures are much higher and the asphalt is not at its optimum. That is why they put a lot more emphasis and work into nailing setups in the nighttime sessions, which are quite similar to how things would be in the race. There will be no possibility to wait till then in Qatar. As they commit to things after only one practice, teams will have to make an educated guess about how the track and air temperatures will evolve. The first practice is scheduled at 4:30 p.m. local time, when temperatures will be around 40 degrees Celsius. The temperature is expected to drop to roughly 33 degrees Celsius by 8 p.m. when qualifying begins. That's a significant difference, even before you consider how wind speed and direction might fluctuate. The challenge for teams will be to have prepared enough in the simulators before the weekend to attempt to give them the guidance they require. Enrico Sampo, head of driving simulation at Ferrari, said, "Checking our modelling will be very important during Friday's free practice. Running the ground effect cars here for the first time adds another unknown factor, for which the 2021 data is of limited value. It means that work in the simulator is vital to predict car handling on track and to try and anticipate its behaviour. With the drivers, we've worked virtually to come up with a baseline setup, simulating various scenarios so that we can react to whatever situations arise. However, it'll not be simple, and teams must be extremely attentive to avoid tripping themselves up with poor setup selections. When Williams head of vehicle performance Dave Robson thinks it will be a standout sprint race in terms of expectations, he probably speaks for everyone. This is one of 3 remaining sprint events for the 2023 season, and is likely to be the most demanding due to the new track surface and evening sessions, he said. The team bosses might be primarily focused on the sprint format in combination with their data gathering duties, but there is one change along the track that has been seen by the drivers as pretty dangerous. So what could be dangerous on a new track? The drivers are concerned that the rebuilt Qatar Formula 1 circuit would be a floor destroyer this weekend due to the new curbs. This was initially considered as a positive measure since there had been a run of difficulties caused by curbs causing punctures for drivers during the 2021 Qatar Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas, Nicholas Latifi and George Russell all had high-profile punctures during the race, which post-race investigations revealed were caused by curb abuse. However, as drivers had their first glimpse of the Qatar modifications ahead of this weekend's race, fears surfaced that the new solution provided may be much worse. Tsunoda argues the new curb design is simply too aggressive for the current generation of ground effect cars, which run extremely near to the ground and are vulnerable to damage on elevated surfaces. On Thursday, he said that Qatar had become a floor destroyer track. He added, "It seems like they changed to the aggressive curbs. Here is always a story with track limits, but they made even worse the curbs because when you go over the white line, you're going to have a proper penalty, which seems like it's going to be a high risk to damage the car." Tsunoda noted that the most serious issue was the transition between the curb and the runoff, which exposed a car going wide to hammering from below. "It's the step between the curb and off-track," he said. "Driving on the curb won't be an issue, but once you step out from the curbs, it's going to be like a complete sliding effect. It is not smooth at all, and especially driving here with such high-speed corners where the car is really low, it will be hard. Even one time will be pretty costly, I think." Tsunoda stated that his AlphaTauri team received images of the redesigned circuit earlier this week, which revealed the first reality regarding the status of the curbs. "I did the simulator on Tuesday, and the pictures arrived on that day," he said. "The pictures were really aggressive, and all the engineers are concerned about it." But the curbs won't be the only talking point before the weekend, as Max Verstappen has slammed the Formula 1 sprint format once more, as he prepares for what will almost certainly be the championship clinching weekend. Verstappen, on the other hand, seems unconcerned about the potential of winning the title outside of the conventional race, and rather focuses on talking down on the new weekend format. "It's not like it came out of the blue that I was going to win the championship here or next week," he told media, "so I don't think it really changes a lot. I know that if I win, or whatever I achieve on Saturday, you win the championship. But I think we're very focused on the main job anyway, just to have a good weekend. I prefer the normal racing format. I think it's just a bit more exciting," added Verstappen. "Especially in qualifying, you can go more to the limit because you know more of what you've done in practice. For example, in Suzuka, if you do FP1 there and then go straight into qualifying, you risk having bigger shunts. It's just not as fulfilling. I always keep saying that once we do a sprint race, you will get the big picture anyway from the main race. So you know more or less already, oh well, this guy is going to be really good in the race, the other one is going to drop back. So it takes a little bit of the excitement away. I remember from when I was a fan, just from the outside of the F1 world, you don't know which cars are particularly amazing in the long run. You watch qualifying like, oh wow, okay. But it might be that one car is in front and he'll drop back in the race, which is all unclear. And then you wake up for the Sunday race and then you will see them fall. Because of the sprint race, it takes that away. You're like, if nothing happens, he doesn't crash, they're gonna win the race, that team or whatever. What are your thoughts on the changes on the track and the sprint race format? Are you enjoying seeing more races in a weekend? Or are you enjoying the old school format more? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.